So, plugins, you've been reading about them online. People told you which ones to buy, which ones are great, which ones are not great, what you need to make your record sound fatter. Well, I have news for you. Most of them you don't need. Most of the amazing sounding plugins and the amazing saturation effect, or this DAW has a better sound processing system than the other one. It's not true. The thing is, at the end of the day, if you have one reverb and you have another reverb, and this reverb has so much brightness, you just add an EQ on the other reverb and you up the highs a little bit. Like, it's very important that you get your definitions clear, that you understand what you're talking about from an engineering perspective. Brightness, add more high. Does just adding the high doesn't work? Maybe it's dynamic equalization. Maybe it's a harmonic exciter. These are all things that if you figure out what they do, you can recreate the same effect, usually with a bunch of very basic plugins. So I'm going to get into it. I'm going to get into my favorite plugins. I'm going to show you how I use my plugins. I'm going to show you which things I ignore from plugins. But I think the most important thing you need to know even if you're an established producer already, like, the more plugins you use, the bigger the chances of you messing up something and you don't know what. So instead of using as many expensive plugins as possible, try using as simple plugins as possible and knowing what they are there for. I think another very important subject when it comes to the use of plugins, again, like I said, you will see so much advertising. You will see advertising on social media. You will see artists saying, you need this plugin. You will see people saying like, oh yeah, I use this plugin all the time. The plugin is not the thing that makes the difference. It's what you do with the plugin. Let's talk about Nexus, for example. I have Nexus. It has a lot of presets. It has a lot of great sounding presets. I use Nexus when I just want to get creatively inspired. You know, like, oh, that sounds nice. Play something. End of the day, usually Nexus doesn't make it in my project because they have so many, how you say, effects going on inside, so many EQs, reverbs, compressors. And honestly, I don't believe that adding all of that in a synthesizer before even going to my mix is gonna make it easy for me to mix. It's gonna make it sound better. I think actually it's gonna make it sound more full. And what I notice a lot of times when I use Nexus leads is that the moment I have the main synth in a drop be a Nexus lead, it's so overpowering that it makes my entire, the rest of the mix sound a little bit crappy. So usually what I do is I take Nexus for inspiration, make a quick idea, make a quick demo on my laptop speakers, boom, sounds amazing. But the moment I start actually getting in depth, I start getting into Serum, I start getting into Silent, I start getting into, how you say, adjustable plugins. Even oscillators, like still, everything is based off oscillators, usually. Some of them have wavetables, of course. But generally, you use a 3x Osc, which is the free Fruity Loop synth. That's how I made most of my first records. You use a few squares, you put them together, you get a nice square sounding thing. Talking about Take Over Control, the main lead came from 3x Osc, 3 oscillators. The main lead from Give Me Everything came from oscillators. The sub bass from Titanium came from oscillators. No Silent, no Nexus, no money at that time, just trying to get the right sound. So take this with you every time before you start thinking like, oh, I need to buy this plugin. Figure out what it does exactly and why it does something that other things can't. Same thing, I told you, Shaperbox, amazing tool. I use it all the time for volume automation. But what I can also do is just automate the volume, figure out which volume automation has the lowest latency or how much latency it has to fit up perfectly with my kick sidechain. Just use that. Even better, and what I've been doing recently, I don't even use a sidechain plugin. I just render the audio and draw the volume of the sample. Or I cut the sample right at the moment it's supposed to hit the kick. So yeah, it's like, how easy do you want to make it to yourself? And how much can you do with it? Again, it comes with your understanding and knowledge of what does a plugin do. So remember this before getting into anything.